And still on court matters, reactions have continued to trail the insinuations of plea bargain allegedly being sought by the suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele. The embattled governor of the Apex Bank is currently facing trial for alleged misappropriation and abuse of office to the tune of 6.9 billion naira. Correspondent Nabuchi Oke Nabuchi in this report examines the governor's chances in the plan and the implication on the country's justice system.
Reports have it that a suspended CBN boss appears to be seeking a soft landing with the federal government under a plea bargain arrangement. The absence of the suspended governor of CBN at the FCT court on Wednesday may have sparked the suspicion that he was gunning for a waiver from government. Emefiele, who was scheduled to appear before an Abuja High Court, failed to show up with no reasons given by the officials of the court. On Thursday last week, he appeared in court to answer to a 6.9 billion charge leveled against him by the government for alleged procurement, fraud and abuse of office. The rumored plea bargain has, however, got Nigerians talking and worried over the possibility of a successful prosecution of the former Apex Bank chief, since the waiver often undermines successful prosecution of criminal cases such as Emefiele's. The use of plea bargain in the Nigerian criminal justice system is a relatively recent development, introduced in 2015 with the enactment of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, ACJA, which allows for plea bargain in certain circumstances. A negotiated term of settlement in criminal trials between the prosecution and the accused, wherein the accused pleads guilty to a lesser offense of reduced charge in exchange for a reduction in sentence or dismissal of the charges, which is finally accepted by the court, has been the order of the day, especially where a prosecutor will agree to charge a defendant with a less serious crime, to recommend a more lenient sentence, or not to charge a defendant with all possible crimes they are accused of, in exchange for a defendant pleading guilty. In the case of Chief Lucky Nosari Igbenediong, for instance, the terms of the plea bargain were that the prosecutor would reduce a 191 count charge to 1 count charge, and in return, Lucky Igbenediong will refund 500 million naira to the properties and plead guilty to the 1 count charge. This, Nigerians say, must not be the case of Mr. Emefiele.
Considering for plea bargain does not mean that he's not guilty, and it has been what is going on in the country, because when you look at all the politicians or any government official that has been indicted with any crime, all they do is to drop a tip of iceberg of what they have taken, and they will go scot-free, and which is very, very bad for the country.
It is no news that since the emergence of a plea bargain theory, its acceptance as a part of criminal justice system over the world has continued to rise. For instance, the concept is now applicable in England, Wales, India, and some other countries of the world. In Nigeria, the policy has played dangerous roles during prosecution of high-profile cases, making convictions almost impossible, as those on trial seek to return part of the reasons they are tried for their freedom against the principle and spirit of the war against corruption.
The implication of the plea bargain, that you are caught with such amount of money and you are trying to plea that you should drop some amount of money and be freed. How about the fund? Does it mean that you looted it and the money cannot be retrieved back? No. So what we need to do is that if the money can be retrieved back, at least 90% of the money, then the person will go in and serve the remaining 10%. That will be 100% just.
No, provided that law establishes that he is guilty, let him pay all. Which kind thing is this? When a thief stole your money, so he must pay you back. So let him pay all.
Whatever may be the outcome of the trial of Mr. Emefiele will definitely influence the fight against corruption negatively or positively. Prosecution agencies must embark on comprehensive investigation of suspected lawbreakers to avoid anything that is capable of delaying or even stalling a genuine case of financial misappropriation and abuse of office, to avoid space or opportunities for a plea bargain that will stop convict imprisonment. Emefiele's offense contradicts Section 19 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000, and if found guilty of the charge of corrupt enrichment, the suspended CBN governor could be sentenced to 5 years imprisonment without the option of fine.